All right, guys, this is going to be kind of a longer video. I do have a lot to cover. The kind of game plan. I'll go over the MSTR convertible bonds and what they kind of can mean for Bitcoin and MSTR, how you can kind of trade around them. Um, the long China, short US tech kind of play. The long China part might have already played out. We'll see. I do want to go over the option flows. We have OPEX tomorrow. So 60% of the open interest is looking to expire. I also want to go over that Bitcoin trade I was given to you guys. It looks like it played out pretty well. And I also want to go over this kind of open interest we're seeing. We kind of call it longer term open interest just based on the fact that it's like a 30-minute chart. Nope, I didn't. That's the wrong one. This one here. And let's pull up the 30-minute. Yeah. So I want to go over this open interest as well. All right, let's go over it. So first, MSTR did announce that they're going to do more convertible bonds. Now, I'm not super versed in it. Just something I've noticed is that if they're going to issue this, they're basically going to sell more stock to buy Bitcoin. And when they do that, it seems like Bitcoin has a rally and then MSTR goes down. Kind of when Saylor's buying. If you can think about it like this, Saylor has to buy, and he also needs to sell stock. So he's probably going to sell stock and then buy Bitcoin. Maybe not in that order. Who knows? I mean, no one really knows intricacies on the back end. If someone does know, please tell me. Um, but yeah, so what we could do with that information. So if they announce that they're going to do more convertible bonds, we know that MSTR is going to be selling. We also know that Saylor is going to be buying. He normally seems to buy on Coinbase. I shouldn't say normally. It looks like he is buying on Coinbase. And what does that mean? Normally, when he's buying on Coinbase, we have this thing called the premium here. It's the difference in the prices on Coinbase and Binance. Basically, um, Coinbase is over Binance price. That's all it is. Like, let's say this was the Binance, or sorry, Coinbase. Binance would be like right here. Um, and the reason that's important is because it shows like strong spot flows that are coming through. Normally, if he's buying, he kind of just jams in. So just something to look out for. You can also use this Agger template. I can share it with you. Um, just drop a comment if you want it. I could DM you or whatever. We have the Coinbase flows here. They're kind of methodical when he's buying. Very just like stepping stone, kind of a TWAP, time weighted average price. He's kind of just getting in slowly over time. Just something I've noticed. Um, okay, we went over that. The MSTR part, I think, is harder to trade. I don't think it's as easy to short MSTR as it is to long Bitcoin when you know Saylor's buying because Bitcoin has the order flow tools. I mean, I guess you could look at the level two MS like for the stock, but I think it's easier to do it through the Bitcoin flows. Again, so we're going to look at Bitcoin Premium. We're going to want to look at this Agri template I have here. When is Coinbase buying? Again, it's going to be around the US session. They're not going to buy outside of the US session. Just what I've noticed. It's normally in the morning. Doesn't have to be. Um, but yeah, this is just an edge that if you dive into it, I'm pretty sure you could get a good 2-3%, pretty consistent edge in the market when you know he's going to come in and buy Bitcoin. It gives you a pretty good long setup. Just something I've noticed. So that's definitely something to check out for you guys. The other thing I wanted to go over, kind of the long China short, short US tech. So we keep getting bad news, or not news, I should say macro data from the US. Hasn't been that great. And China seems to be doing well. Again, I don't think the time to long China was now. I think the time was when DeepSeek kind of came out. So you kind of missed the train on that. But I'm not convinced that the trade is over for like a pullback in like the triple Q or something like that. QQQ. Just something I've been thinking about. So if China's strong and then we also have kind of this bad CPI data and all the stuff that's coming out, what does that mean for US companies? We just had bad Walmart earnings, which is normally like an inflation hedge. So that's just kind of how I'm thinking through it. We made new highs. We didn't really go anywhere. And then something very important, options expiration is tomorrow. So we won't have those supportive kind of backflows. What'll happen is basically market makers, they kind of have to buy or sell stock when it gets to a certain level because of how much these options are traded. All those flows, or 60% of them, are going to be gone because the open interest is expiring. What does that mean? It means that the market can normally flow easier. If you look at the big dips or the bottoms, it's normally around OPEX, especially quarterly OPEX. It's not quarterly, so take it with a grain of salt. Just something I'm looking for. Um, QQQ could open, to 544 tomorrow. Who knows? Just something I'm watching. I You might get more juice out of the short from QQQ versus the long on like KWEB or another Chinese ETF. I'm mostly just trading the options on the ETFs. Anything else? Oh yeah, that Bitcoin trade. Let's go through that as well. So guys, it did kind of end up working out like we were talking about. We had this big range, remember, and we broke out. We trapped a bunch of shorters, and then we came back up, and then we held the bottom of it, and then we're looking for the other side of value. That's one of my bread and butter trades, especially when you get the big composite like this. Um, let's see here. Something that is concerning me now, though, it almost looks like we're doing the exact thing we did over here. Um, everybody got shorts and we pushed down, and now everyone's getting long, it looks like. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We are at the range high. Again, what happens when we're at the range high? You don't have a great risk reward on shorting, or sorry, longing. You basically have to long, I guess here, you're playing the momentum continuation trade. It's just not great risk reward. Your risk reward was down here, guys. Or if you somehow bottom ticked it, you got like in here. It's really not here. I'm flat on Bitcoin. I after my longs here, I took 50% here, and then on that push up before the open, I took the rest off. I just had a limit order up in there. Um, yeah, so just be careful longing here. It definitely could go up again, but I, I don't know. It just the open interest ramping makes me nervous. That's all. I think other than that, that's all I wanted to cover. I want to look at some alts. Solana still looking like absolute garbage. Flight to quality, again, we've been talking about that. Flight to quality, all the scams, not good for the coin. Even though I like the chain and everything, it's just not good for the coin. ETH has been terrible all year. So XRP, we got some good trades on XRP this week. We'll see what happens. It kind of just is consolidating in this larger range, so not too interested in buying it. Litecoin though, Litecoin has been. I mean, let's see if we get this kind of push higher. I mean, this thing looks like a monster. No, guys, look at these highs. If we get an actual run through here, that would be very interesting. Let me just actually chart this out real fast. There we go. Then let's take off. Let's just put on the yearly view up. Yeah, that level is huge right here. It really is. I mean, you guys can see this is like our yearly VWAP value. Think about the range things I love to talk about. This is like an upper range. We have the value area high and low here, and then we have our yearly VWAP. So you could get a runner. I'm watching Litecoin pretty hard. It definitely depends on what the broader market does. We could just keep, ping ponging in this range and nothing happens. Hype, boring as usual. Tau had a nice run. I don't know. Altcoins still kind of look like garbage, so just be careful. That's everything that I'm looking at. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the comments. All right, thanks, guys.